Yeah, good morning, Kara. Here in Arlington, there's a fresh layer of snow on the ground. That wintry mix is continuing to fall. It's absolutely beautiful to look at. Unfortunately, families here and all over the Lone Star State are waking up to yet another day of below freezing temperatures, some of them without power, some of them with water problems, all of it making it unsafe for some families to stay in their own homes. Just take a look at this. A viewer in Grapevine sent me this video showing water from burst sprinkler pipes pouring through light fixtures at a vacant unit in the Grapevine 2499 apartment. He says management was able to eventually cut the water off, but just visuals like these underscore why some people simply cannot stay in their own homes. That's why I also want to show you this map from the Texas Division of Emergency Management with information about at least 85 warming centers in North Texas, 230 statewide. You can find a link to it at WFAA.com. If you do not have internet access, but you can get to a phone, dial 211 for more information on where you can find food or shelter in your area. Either of those resources will point you to a warming center like the one here at the City of Arlington's Water Utilities South Service Center. An Arlington police officer tells me people have been coming in and out throughout the night and into the morning. When I last checked, I saw at least one person was still in there in these types of conditions, though. One person is one too many. Also coming out of Arlington, churches have opened up. Neighbors have opened up their doors to neighbors. I even found a story of one woman who is knitting dozens of scarves for complete strangers. She's dropping them off at warming centers just like this one. So even in the worst conditions, it seems that it's all bringing out the best in some of the families who live here in Tarrant County. So let's send it over to Tashara to get a look at the traffic.
That's at least a little bit of good news. Appreciate that. I'm actually going to talk about something else here, Eric, and we've been talking about you guys that are without power in your home, and many of you are looking for a hot meal to eat. Restaurants are closed, many of them, but some have managed to stay open to help keep people fed, right? Snuffers Restaurant, have you heard of it? It's a bar on Greenville in Dallas. It's open for business, curbside to go, and even dine-in is open at both their Dallas as well as their Addison locations.
Those things are real and they're scary, and so we just want to provide a small little, a 45-minute snippet of your day and put a smile on your face.
Now, WFAA has compiled a list of some businesses that plan to be open through these extremely cold temperatures. Text the word open to 214-977-6028. We'll send you that list to your phone. You'll want to check with the restaurant, though, before you try to head out. Again, and if you do, please take it easy out there on the roads. Plans can change with these restaurants just like anything else. If you know a local spot that is open, tweet at WFAA's Tiffany Liu, and she will add it to our list. All right, I actually want to send things back out to Hannah Davis. We have some breaking news that we're covering, and I hear you guys just arrived to a fire. Hannah?
Yeah, good morning, Tashara. We're just south of Richardson. I'm going to show you what we're seeing, but this is the last thing that anybody wants to deal with at any point, especially right now. Take a look at this right here. This is fire crews trying to fight a pretty strong apartment fire that we just pulled up to. Now think about this, guys. It's tough enough for any of us to deal with the cold, the snow, these first responders having to navigate these roads. Getting back to this kind of windy, set-back apartment complex. You can see those crews working. They've got the crane out trying to get that water on there. This makes their job, which is a life-saving job, even more difficult. And think about the conditions that they're working in, making sure these fire crews stay safe. Now, we just got to the scene, so we have minimal details on the cause of this fire, if anybody was inside, how many people are impacted, but we just got here. We will be talking to crews about that, but this is something else to think about. First responders who continue to do their jobs, no matter what the weather is, this really throwing a wrench into things, and we're hoping that they're able to stay safe as they do this life-saving work. Again, this is breaking news. We just got out here, really a nasty fire that we're looking at right now. I can see the flames coming from one of the areas. We will get more details on this, but everyone, we just urge you to stay safe out there. Kaylee, over to you.
Thanks, Hannah, and we are very thankful for those first responders that are out there in these elements. Let's check in on the temperature right now out there, which is much better than it was yesterday, but it's still very, very cold with temperatures anywhere from the teens to lower 20s. We are still below freezing. We've been below freezing since 5 o'clock Saturday, and we're 20 degrees right now at DFW Airport. So that's 86 hours total below freezing, and we still have a couple more days to go. So even though we start a warming trend, that's the positive here, we start the warming trend today, we're not quite going to get above freezing until Friday. One of the reasons for that is the snowpack on the ground. What happens with this is the sun rays just reflect right off of that snow, go right back out into the atmosphere, and don't absorb at the surface to warm us up. So it's going to take us melting that snow to be able to get those temperatures to really jump up. We'll have more on the forecast that's going to be coming up in just a moment, but now let's check in with Tashara.
Okay, thank you, Kaylee. And obviously melting that snow is going to take a minute, especially as it relates to those roadways out there. Look, you guys, if you do have to head out today, please remember just a few simple driving tips. Drive to the conditions. I've been seeing way too many folks out speeding. The folks that are out on the road speeding, reduce that speed, increase your travel distance. That won't be a problem since it isn't a whole lot of you out there. But please be considerate, share the road with others, and drive with your headlights on day and night, because we have seen lights out due to those outages that TxDOT is also dealing with, those electricity outages that many of us are dealing with. Over in Fort Worth, I haven't seen any active incidents out there. By way of accidents, I'm referring to across Fort Worth. It's been fairly quiet. Mid-cities, Grand Prairie, Arlington, you guys are looking fairly decent by way of accidents. Of course, I did want to focus on Euless here. Look at this, 183 right at 360. I want you to take note of the bridge here. You guys, many of these bridges and overpasses, one, we want you to avoid them at all costs anyway, but many of them haven't been plowed as much as what I was seeing over the last couple of days or so. I did speak with TxDOT Dallas. I spoke with TxDOT Fort Worth. TxDOT Dallas says they have 100+ trucks out trying to clear the roads. But of course, you guys know early on snow was still falling this morning, so it was taking a little while to get things done. Again, Mark, I've been telling folks, if you have to head out, please take it slow and give yourself some extra time. Out to you.
Oh boy, thank you for that, Tashara. I do want to kind of update you with something I found a little bit ago. I'm not sure if I can pull it up on my computer here. ERCOT back in November released a press release basically saying, hey, they think that they're going to be ready for this upcoming winter, saying we're dealing with morning and evening peaks and sometimes extreme volatility. We studied a range of risks and believe there is sufficient generation to adequately serve our customers. Yet again, a reason why a lot of folks are just upset that we thought we were planned or prepared for this, and it turned out that we weren't. And now you've got so many households without power for 1 day, 2 days, going on 3 days. I'm seeing reports of, instead of rotating blackouts, it's been some folks who've just been blacked out for days now. I believe we're checking in with Cleo Green just to get an update on where things stand, because again, if you've got your fingers crossed, your power's coming back on, Cleo, you might have to keep them crossed a while.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, 4 million customers statewide were without power, and it's starting to improve just a bit. But Mark, honestly, when I start to update things, it's constantly changing. And this is the latest tweet from ERCOT this morning saying that some generation is slowly returning. They were able to restore the power to about 600,000 households last night. As it stands, 2.7 million households still do not have power. The latest ERCOT mat here shows that 2.7 million households do not have power. My voice is a little scratchy here. I'm completely okay though. Listen, Governor Greg Abbott said that what's going on with ERCOT right now is completely unacceptable, and he's actually calling for the resignation of ERCOT CEO. We got a chance to speak to ERCOT CEO, and he said, listen, they honestly just weren't prepared for these cold temperatures. Take a listen.
Well, there's two keys. One is, we're hopeful, and I think everybody in Texas is hopeful, that we're going to see at least a little bit of moderation in the weather. While it will still be cold later in the week, we're not going to see these single digits from, Dalhart to Brownsville that we've seen this week. So the moderation in the weather, if that comes through, certainly will lower the demand side, which will help us serve everybody's electricity.
All right, so Bill Magnus there said that he understands the frustration, the confusion, and the anger from Texans in the dark. He said his wife and 8th grader are at home without electricity themselves. Now, he said about 45,000 megawatts of electricity was offline Tuesday morning. And for context, 1 megawatt of electricity can power about 200 homes. Mark, here's the latest number here from Encore. Remember, that number is ticking up here. Right now, as it stands, 639 customers without power, Mark.
Oh, and to add insult to injury, that power that we are getting, we're going to be paying more for. Thank you for that, Cleo. Thank you for hanging out with us as we've had some extended coverage this morning. To stay up to date with the very latest, we've got a live blog running on the front page of our website and on our app as well. You can also stream our newscasts and any breaking news events live there as well. Kara.
And we do have continuing coverage for you this morning at 9 o'clock. We're going to take over part of Good Morning Texas. Team coverage ramps back up our midday newscast. And of course, Chris and Izzy take over at 4 o'clock with Pete Delkus. Keep reaching out to us through social media.